Hi everyone, I am Amy Vetter, and welcome to the Breaking Beliefs podcast, where anything can be possible, because when you believe you can, you will. This series is all about getting honest with ourselves and noticing the things that we carry with us. We each have our own life experiences to go from, and sometimes it's hard to truly understand what it's like to be someone else. What we can do to create change is to start with us. If each of us took one action each day in our own lives, we could collectively change the world around us. But what does it take? It takes work, it takes practice, and we have to be honest with ourselves as we get there. Hi everyone, for today's B3 break, we're going to talk about monotasking versus multitasking. So sometimes what we have to do to realize that we are multitasking instead of monotasking is write down all the things that we're doing in our day. Because what happens is that when we get distracted by a notification, an instant message, an email coming in, a phone call, and we're trying to get our work done, it takes us 23 minutes to get back to our thought process that we had before we were interrupted. And we get interrupted at least every 3 minutes. So when we're working remote, it's actually really important we turn on the virtual do not disturb signs, where we turn off notifications. We make sure our phones are not near us so that we can get our own work done. Now, what we can do is just like when you go on a diet, and sometimes it's not fun, is to write down everything you eat when you're on a diet. Well, when you're doing this and trying to streamline your work, you're actually going to write down all the things that you do in your day. Just keep a pad of paper right next to you and write down for each half hour, what were you doing? And did you notice that you got distracted by a phone call, by an email, by a text? And were you able to complete the work that you were doing? Or were you on a conference call or a meeting, got interrupted and got distracted by an email, a text, instant message, and weren't paying attention and had to ask someone to repeat themselves? And that happens to a lot of us all of the time. So it's actually a practice to make sure that we can stay present in what we are doing. So when we manage our calendar, if we set time aside for these little breaks in our day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes on our calendar, and we protect those are the times that we can respond to emails, to texts, to instant messages, so that we can stay focused on the meetings that we're in. We can stay focused on the work that we are doing. So if you feel like you're working too much, that you're not sure why things aren't getting done, that this new way of working is hard, this is one way that you can start streamlining your work and taking back the control. So just as a review, take a pad of paper, write down everything you're doing in your day. And as you're working on something, if you got interrupted, note it. And make sure that you're turning on those virtual do not disturb signs. So notifications you can turn off on your computer. You can also close out applications that are interrupting you, and you can turn on the do not disturb on your phone so that you can stay singular focused and you're not overworking when you're remote working. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to the Breaking Beliefs podcast. I hope you will take a moment to pause before entering back into your day to reflect on this podcast and note 1 to 2 actions you are inspired to do from today's conversation that you could incorporate into your life. To read the full blog and listen back to this episode or any other, you can find them at www.amyvetter.com/Breaking Beliefs podcast and related videos on my YouTube channel. For daily inspiration, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Amy Vetter CPA. I hope that you will choose to like this and subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and more, so that you can join us for more inspiration on our next episode.